Good day, good day, good day. Breathing in that air. Breathing in that breath through the nostrils. All the way down. All the way down here, baby. Let that breath rest right there. Just shoots down. All down a line. Fill those spirits of God up with that air, with that breath of life that we get every second. That's life, baby. That's life right there. So let's recap. Last video, I told you about the new creation story. The story that we're going to tell our children of how we all got here and why we're here. And that story is going to continue because the dragon that was after the queen isn't done yet. He is going to come up with a plan to deceive everybody, and we'll get into that. I just want to do a quick side note. In one of my first videos, I told you that I have to go through this. I have to open up this book of Revelation and unseal it to you guys, because there's knowledge that I'm waiting for that I couldn't receive until I at least made the videos that I made and got halfway through the book. We're a little past halfway. And so now that I have that knowledge, I can continue. And if you remember the trumpets, when I was talking about the trumpets being blown, and I was talking about John, what I meant in that moment was the bowls, which we're not there. We're not at the bowls yet. So if you take what I said from that video and replace it, in fact, with the bowls, that's what I meant. I was a little too far ahead of myself, but it's an easy correction, easy fix if you go back to the video where I talk about the trumpets and the angels receiving them, and John being on the ship and him being attached to the earth. That's what I'm saying. That is the connection with the 7 bowls that are filled with the plagues that we're going to talk about soon. Minor correction, minor fix, so that I can make room for continuing this book. And as always, before I do, I just want to check in with you guys. And instead of checking in how I normally do, I'll give you a little bit of insight about me and what's going on. Because, you know, I'm making these videos and I'm working for the Lord here. I'm doing the Lord's work. So behind the scenes, I'm battling real demons, suffering in these battles. And I'll admit, I'm being real with you right now because of how the struggle's been behind the scenes. And I ain't worried, I ain't tripping. I know I will conquer and overcome, and that any battle lost can be a battle won with changing the mindset. So you might notice that my energy is a little bit lower. My energy is a little bit colorless. But that's okay, because I'm a pro at getting it back. I am an absolute pro when it comes to landing on my feet and then emerging into what I'm supposed to become. And I hope that you take this moment of realness that I'm having with you as a moment for yourself to, like I said, have always said, that losing battles isn't the end. So that you can see and be like, okay, well, he's also struggling too. He's not this perfect thing. I've said it since the beginning. I'm just a man. I'm just a man. I'm nothing special. I'm nothing crazy. I'm just a man who has read the Gospels, which are about discipline, always about discipline, and I applied that discipline into my life because I realized that the discipline is against the flesh, and I no longer wanted to be a slave to the ship that I have. This is my ship. This is warrior culture, baby. Culture, baby. Warrior culture. And I captain it. I fly it. I pilot it. It doesn't tell me where to go. I tell it where to go. So before we get into the next chapter, chapter 13 in Revelation, I just really want to soak it in. I want you guys just to watch me, just get in the present moment, just get in touch with everything that's around me. What I hear the ocean, of course. I hear the people of the earth. I hear some mechanical movement. Airplanes, helicopters, far off into the distance. I hear a little bit of music playing. So you take in all the sounds that you can hear, and you take an inventory of those sounds. So that way you can hear your own voice and what it's telling you to do, what it's telling you to be. And right now, mine's just telling me to relax. And whenever that happens, a breeze just comes out of nowhere. And I love it. Thank you for that breeze. You're a fortress on high ground. You're untouchable. You're so high up, and yet you are on the ground. You are not feeble. You are strong. You are not weak-minded. Your mind is a vault that only you have the key to. You open it and close it at will and put whatever you want in and take whatever you want out. Your mind is not moved by the body, and your body is not moved by the mind. I just am, baby. I'm a soul baby. All right, let's get into this magnificent thing right here. Chapter 13. The dragon stood on the shore of the sea, and I saw a beast coming out of the sea. It had 10 horns and 7 heads, with 10 crowns on its horns, and on each head a blasphemous name. The beast I saw, I'm gonna wait for that to pass. Resembled a leopard, but had feet like those of a bear, and a mouth like that of a lion. The dragon gave the beast his power, and his throne, and great authority. Now this dragon standing on the shore, this is on the shore of Patmos, on the island of Patmos. This isn't something that's happening in like some future. This is happening in front of John while he's on the island of Patmos, getting his chakras opened up by the master. So this is something he's actually seen. It would be like if I was here right now and Christ was in front of me and he was opening up my chakras, and I could see out into the distance a beast coming out of the sea. It would be like that. And like I had this vision in my head. It's not actually there. It's not actually emerging out of the sea. It's just in my head. You get that? All right. One of the heads of the beast seemed to have a fatal wound, but the fatal wound had been healed. The whole world was filled with wonder and followed the beast. People worshipped the dragon because he had given authority to the beast. So you see, this is the common theme that we see throughout Revelation, and how God works with his sons. And now the dragon's doing the same thing, is that he passes down authority. That's this thing, okay? This passing down of the torch. And right now, we are in a situation where the torch isn't being passed down to the next generation so easily. Luckily, there are those of us who will climb the ladder and go and grab it, because you have to give it up. You have to. We're waiting. There are sons and daughters who are perfectly capable of taking this over. So now people are worshiping the dragon because it gave authority. You understand that? Because it gave authority, people are worshiping the dragon, not the beast yet. And they also worship the beast. Now they're worshiping the beast and ask, who is like the beast? Who can wage war against it? The beast was given a mouth to utter proud words and blasphemies, and to exercise its authority for 42 months, 1,260 days. A lot of stuff's happening within 42 months. It opened its mouth to blaspheme God and to slander his name and his dwelling place and those who live in heaven. It was given power to wage war against God's holy people and to conquer them. And it was given authority over every tribe, people, language, and nation. All inhabitants of the earth will worship the beast, all whose names have not been written in the Lamb's book of life, the Lamb who was slain from the creation of the world. So you see, there's only a select few that are following the Lamb. There are only a select few that don't worship the beast. And you should know right now, watching this video, if you are someone who is worshiping beast or someone who is worshiping Lamb. I am telling you right now, it would behoove you to be worshiping Lamb. Whoever has ears, let them hear. If anyone is to go into captivity they will go. If anyone is to be killed with this sword they will be killed. This calls for patient endurance and faithfulness on the part of God's people. In the book of Hebrews, Paul also tells us to have patient endurance. Patient endurance, because that's what it takes to follow the Lamb. Because the Lamb doesn't move like the beast. The beast moves in the way that the human eye detects and loves and sees and follows, but the Lamb doesn't. And so we don't see the Lamb as something to follow because it doesn't attract our eyes. But the beast attracts our eyes. We see the beast everywhere. It's around us every single day. And even worse than that, because we'll find out later in the chapter that it's not just the actual beast, there's also an image of the beast. There's a fake image of the beast too. So there's two beasts, people. There's the actual beast, and then there's the image of the beast. But right now we just have the dragon and the original beast. I will show you in the rest of the chapter how we get the image of the beast created. That's why you gotta be on your P's and Q's, man. You gotta be on your P's and Q's, because I guarantee you, if you think that you're not following the beast, then you're probably also following the image of the beast and not the lamb. Now, when I start verse 11, it's going to talk about a second beast, and this isn't the image. This is not the image of the first beast. This is another actual living second beast. Don't get it twisted. Like I said, you've got to know script. You've got to know this stuff to get through this. Actually, you don't got to know it. Like, I'm getting you through it. So hang on tight, people. Then I saw a second beast coming out of the earth. Okay, so this is coming out of the ground. Unlike the beast of the sea, this one's emerging from the earth. Much like Adam. Adam was taken from the dirt. And this one's also going to be in human form too. It had two horns like a lamb, but it spoke like a dragon. It exercised all authority of the first beast on its behalf, and made the earth and its inhabitants worship the first beast. Okay, so we have the dragon, we have the first beast, and then we have the second beast. And the second beast is on spotlight right now. Who made the earth and its inhabitants worship the first beast, whose fatal wound had been healed. And it performed great signs, even causing fire to come down from heaven to earth in full view of the people, much like the witness. Because of the signs it was given power to perform on behalf of the first beast, it deceived the inhabitants of the earth. It ordered them to set up an image in honor of the beast who was wounded by the sword and yet lived. The second beast was given power to give breath to the image of the first beast, so that the image could speak and cause all who refused to worship the image to be killed. So the second beast ordered to have an image of the first beast set up, and then the second beast gave that image life by breathing it into it. So what do we have? We have a dragon. We have the beast out of the sea, and we have the beast out of the earth. And we also have an image of the beast out of the sea as well. Not 3, 4. 4 completely twisting, deceiving things that are after you night and day to pull you off your path, off your way. So tell me, you think you can do this yourself? You think you can handle this by yourself, and you don't need Christ? You don't need his help? You think you can handle these beasts, an image of the beast, and a dragon, an ancient dragon that's been around before you, your mamas, your grandmamas, your great-great-grandmamas? No, bro. You are absolutely out of your warrior mind if you think you can handle this yourself. Of course, that's, as warriors, that's what we do, right? We want to go slay the dragon. We want to go slay the beast and stuff. But if you throw yourself at something, you got to know when an enemy's too strong. There's an underdog winning against someone bigger. That makes a great story and a great movie. But that's just it, stories and movies. That stuff doesn't happen. Because when an underdog knows that he's going up against something bigger than him, he finds a way out of it. Like, nah, I ain't ready for that. I'm gonna go get some homies. I'm gonna go wake up the church. Because I can't take it on alone. It would be foolish. Because there have been people who try to take it on alone. And they become false prophets. Why? Because they don't ever divert the attention of their audience, of who they're prophesying to, back to the Word, back to Christ. That's how you'll be able to identify them. Because they talk about themselves and they talk about their visions without ever bringing it back to Christ and bringing it back to the light of how it is by Christ alone that they are even able to have a vision or have any thought or even try to take any of this on. It is by the love of Christ that I can even open this book up and guide you guys through it. I'm going to read verse 15 again to start from there. The second beast was given power to give breath to the image of the first beast, so that the image could speak and cause all who refused to worship the image to be killed. It also forced all people, great and small, rich and poor, free and slave, to receive a mark on their right hands or on their foreheads, so that they could not buy or sell unless they had the mark, which is the name of the beast or the number of its name. This calls for wisdom. Let the person who has insight calculate the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man. That number is 666. Look around at what's going on. Everyone's masking up, right? These are signs, people. Not signs performed like we hear about, but they're just things to get you thinking. Thinking, why? What's the significance behind covering your face? Or do we just all assume that we as humans just have faces that are beautiful to everyone in the universe? What if there's a species more intelligent than us, better than us, doing way more than us, who find our faces grotesque? Have you ever thought about that? Have you ever thought that maybe you aren't the only person on this planet, in this universe, trying to do good every single day? We're powering right into chapter 14. Here we go. Then I looked, and there before me was the Lamb, standing on Mount Zion. So this is John, not the Lamb, but this is John explaining what he's seeing as he looks. And with him 144,000 who had his name and his father's name written on their foreheads. Remember, these are the ones that were sealed, okay? These were the ones that were bought. These were the ones that were promised. And I heard a sound from heaven like the roar of rushing waters and like a loud peal of thunder. The sound I heard was like that of harpists playing their harps. And they sang a new song before the throne. So now the vision is back with John in the throne room. And you all already know what the throne room looks like because I've described it to you. I wrote it out for you. They sang a new song before the throne and before the four living creatures and the elders. No one could learn the song except the 144,000 who had been redeemed from the earth. This is tongues, people. No one else could learn except for the 144,000. And there's a lot of mystery behind tongues in the New Testament. And this is what it's about right here. These are those who did not defile themselves with women, for they remained virgins. Listen, men, this is why I'm talking to you. This is why I'm talking to you, men, and I'm addressing you as men, I'm addressing you as brothers. Because you haven't defiled yourself. And you're still virgins. We live in a culture where men are pushed and they are so influenced to get laid as soon as possible. Because like I've said, that is our coming of age ceremony for men, and it's so jacked up that is what makes you a man. When we are being told right here that we need to hold on to that we need to keep that. Do you see how big the beast is? Do you see how it's deceiving men every single day? Every single day, men are being pushed more and more and led more and more to try to get it in and lose their virginities. It's right there, folks. It's right there. So no wonder you're struggling. No wonder you're all twisted up in your head at night when it comes to women, and your thoughts are just like spiraling out of control, and we're rushing to pornography because it's the only thing that can get us some sort of release from the way that we've been, our mindset's been ticked, bro. Wake up. This is warrior culture. This is the fight. This is the fight. This is the unseen fight. I'll tell you what, it's one thing to fight a physical person that you can see. It's a whole different ball game to go against something that you can't see. That's happening all around you. No fap, all about it. All about it. You don't need that. Don't be touching yourself, bro. Don't be touching yourself. Because if women can't get to you, if a woman can't get to you, then you slaying yourself every single day is just as bad. Just as bad, bro. So we got to be on our P's and Q's. We've got to be there. This isn't a game anymore. This is real life. Anyone who's telling you that no fap is a joke, anyone who's telling you that, oh, it's okay to masturbate and it's good for you, it's healthy for you, and this and that, they're trying to keep you. They're trying to keep you away from the Lamb. And it's the Lamb that we need to look to, because the Lamb saves us. The Lamb is gonna save you from your war that's going on in your mind, bro. They follow the Lamb wherever he goes. They were purchased from among mankind and offered as first fruits to God and the Lamb. No lie was found in their mouths. They are blameless. Why? Not because they are actually blameless and there was no lie found in their mouths, but because they are being looked at through the eyes of Christ. And when Christ puts his eyes on you, he sees you in your most perfect form, and it's beautiful beyond measure. There isn't a woman out there who can look at you in the way that Christ looks at you. He seriously gazes with no judgment. Then I saw another angel flying in mid-air, and he had the eternal gospel to proclaim to those who live on the earth. The eternal gospel, right? We're told that in the Islamic scriptures that Christ was given the gospels. He had pre-knowledge of it. He was an excellent writer. He was an excellent speaker. You've got to know the scriptures. You've got to know the scriptures, because when you go through and read this book, those scriptures will start ringing and things will make sense. That's only if you want to wake up. That's only if you want to wake up. Let me tell you something. There's a pathway for those of you who don't want to wake up. But it requires just trusting these videos. These videos are trustworthy. I got you guys. I got you, bros. I got you. To every nation, tribe, language, and people, right? He said in a loud voice, "Fear God and give him glory, because the hour of his judgment has come. Worship him who made the heavens, the earth, the sea, and the springs of water." That was Christ's first message. A second angel followed and said, and this is Christ's second message, right? Fallen is Babylon the Great, which made all the nations drink the maddening wine of her adulteries. A third angel followed them and said in a loud voice, "If anyone worships the beast in its image and receives its mark on their forehead or on their hand, they too will drink the wine of God's fury, which has been poured full strength into the cup of his wrath. They will be tormented with burning sulfur in the presence of the holy angels and of the Lamb, and the smoke of their torment will rise forever and ever. There will be no rest day or night for those who worship the beast and its image, or for anyone who receives the mark of its name." Why? Because you know. Because you've heard. And I'm telling you now. What did I say a couple videos ago? Stop watching my videos if you don't want to know. But you can't. Because this is going to save you. It's a trustworthy set of videos. This calls for patient endurance on the part of the people of God who keep his commands and remain faithful to Jesus. Then I heard a voice from heaven say, "Write this: Blessed are the dead who die in the Lord from now on." Okay? So this is a redemption. This is a redemption that after John had the vision of everyone being tormented and this and that, there's no more of that. There's no more of that, because as soon as John wrote this down, it comes into play in the universe. And I'll say it again. Write this: Blessed are the dead who die in the Lord from now on. Yes, says the Spirit, they will rest from their labor, for their deeds will follow them. That's how we know. That's how we know that death isn't the end. And that there isn't going to be this eternal torment and suffering. There's going to be judgment, but not this eternal tormenting suffering that people have been placing in the church's minds and this and that. And I'm not trying to steer you away from the church or anything. If you're in the church, great. I was in it too, and I love the church. Absolutely love the church. That's the bridegroom. But there are beasts in the church. There are beasts in the church. I have seen them. And I've seen their tactics and the way that they preach. And the way that they preach is through the flesh. They are in the flesh when they preach. And they are not in the spirit, my guys. That's why you bros, you men, I need you. I need you. What else is there for you to do? What else is out there? Look at my position. There's so much for me to do. And yet I'm here with the word. And I'm here meditating. And I'm here making my body stronger. Because I know what's coming. And if you were a man, you would be doing the same thing. From sun up to sun down. You wouldn't care what women think. You wouldn't care where women go. Let them go to the clubs. Let them go to the bars. You stay. You stay and get your mind right. Because this isn't a game anymore. This is real life. This is real life, playa. Let's get cracking. Let's continue. Let's continue this. Verse 14. I looked, and there before me was a white cloud, and seated on the cloud was one like a son of man, with a crown of gold on his head and a sharp sickle in his hand. Then another angel came out of the temple on Mount Zion, and called in a loud voice to him who was sitting on the cloud, take your sickle and reap, because the time to reap has come, for the harvest of the earth is ripe. What we're seeing, these angels, these sons, these ones that look like like a son of man, basically what God is doing is he is awakening his sons in the same way that the beast and of the sea and the beast of the earth and the image of the beast rose to power. So he is bringing his sons to power in the same way. He's using the enemy's technique to bring his own in. So he who is seated on the cloud swung his sickle over the earth, and the earth was harvested. Another angel came out of the temple in heaven, and he too had a sharp sickle. Still, another angel who had a charge of the fire came from the altar and called in a loud voice to him who had the sharp sickle, take your sharp sickle and gather the clusters of grapes from the earth's vine, because its grapes are ripe. So there's the harvesting for the harvest of the earth is ripe, and then there's a harvesting because the grapes are ripe. The angel swung his sickle on the earth, gathered its grapes, and threw them into a great winepress of God's wrath. They were trampled in the winepress outside the city, and blood flowed out of the press, rising as high as the horses' bridles for a distance of 1,600 stadia. Now, we see two harvests, right? There's a harvest of the good, and there's a harvest of the bad. Now, I don't know about you, but that harvest of the bad doesn't sound like something you want to be a part of. And I hope that you weren't. And I hope that you weren't. Because I need you spirits. I'm talking, remember, I always have one foot on the physical and one foot in the spiritual. And so for the past minute, I've been talking to the spirits. I've been awakening the spirits up. Because I need them just as much as I need the brothers. Man, we're stopping there. We're stopping there. No, we're continuing. We're going to keep going. We're going to keep going. All right, chapter 15. So John, again, he says, chapter 15, I saw in heaven another great and marvelous sign. 7 angels with the 7 last plagues. Last, because with them God's wrath is completed. So he is on the ship. Remember, John is on the ship. This is how abductions work. And he sees the 7 angels approaching him with 7 bowls of plagues. And I saw what looked like a sea of glass glowing with fire, because there's war in heaven. And standing beside the sea, those who had been victorious over the beast and its image, and over the number of its name, they held harps given to them by God, and sang the song of God's servant Moses and of the Lamb. So John sees the 7 angels holding the 7 last plagues. And then he also sees those who had been victorious over the beast, which we know those to be from my previous video. Those are the ones that appear and cause the elders to fall down, the 4 living creatures to fall down. And those are the ones that I'm talking about when I say that if you don't want to wake up, you don't have to, because there is another way for you to be saved. And you will be one of those people who were victorious over the beast and its image. And you will be given a harp, and you will sing this song. Great and marvelous are your deeds, Lord God Almighty. Just and true are your ways, King of the nations. Who will not fear you, Lord, and bring glory to your name? For you alone are holy. All nations will come and worship before you, for your righteous acts have been revealed. After this I looked, and I saw in heaven the temple, that is, the tabernacle of the covenant law, and it was open. Out of the temple came the 7 angels with the 7 plagues. They were dressed in clean, shining linen and wore golden sashes about their chests. Then one of the 4 living creatures gave to the 7 angels 7 golden bowls filled with the wrath of God, who lives forever and ever. And the temple was filled with smoke from the glory of God and from his power, and no one could enter the temple until the 7 plagues of the 7 angels were completed. Very similar to how nothing could have happened in heaven until John's 7 seals were opened. Now, no one can enter the temple until the 7 plagues of the 7 angels were completed. Don't trip about these plagues. A lot of people, they get a foul taste of Revelation in their mouth because they think all these plagues are going to happen to earth. But we see time and time again, just like with Adam, just like with Christ, just like with John, a single man takes on these plagues so that nobody else has to. And there will always be those single men to do that. We just don't see it going on until now. And we will get into the 7 plagues later in another video. Whew. You see my face right now? You see how clean shaven it is? Why? Why do I do that? Because I always got the way of death in my mind. Always. In case I go, I'm going baby face. I'm a soul baby, baby. I'm always ready. And you, as warriors, that's how we do it. We keep that in our mind constantly. Constantly we have the way of death in our mind. Christ walked the way. His followers walked the way. His close ones. And now we, as warrior cultures, baby, it's warrior culture. We keep it locked up. Always knowing that that's where we're going. Thank you for that breeze. That feels so good. So keep at it, gents. Keep at it day and night. Even when you lose, even when you struggle. Keep pushing forward. Keep yourself in those disciplines. Keep yourself in those mind state of those disciplines. Don't let the beasts of the sea and the beasts of the earth and its image and the ancient dragon spewing, don't let that pull you off the way. You came here on this planet. You were born to follow the way, not to be led astray. You've got this. You got this. I know you do. I know you do. And I know that there are voices, and I know that there are people in your life that are telling you that you don't got this. But hear me when I tell you, you do. There is nothing outside of what is in here, what is in your chest, that you need to get you through this life. That's a trustworthy saying, my guys, my brothers. That's all I have for you today. I don't know, maybe not. Maybe I'll be recording this evening. Who knows? But what I do want to say right now, I love you, bros. I love you, animals. I love you, creatures of the earth. And I love you, creatures of the sea. And I love you, creatures of the air. Peace.